Hey, happy Sunday for everybody out there. So a little bit of a different video, but anyways, if you guys caught Sneed's live stream last night where he had Carlos, Technoid, and Lawrence on there, they were talking about an experience that Lawrence had with T-Mobile customer care, T-Mobile sales, and something really bad happened with his account. First off, let me just say this because I know this video is going to be good length because there's a lot for me to cover in this. Let me just say this to those people out there who were flagging the live stream, or those people who are going there and trying to report the live stream or whatever. There's nothing wrong with what they said, and you guys really need to stop it. Um, if you guys listened on that live stream, at a certain point, Lawrence even says, after he explains his entire experience that he had regarding what happened to his account and how it got messed up really bad, and there was no disclosures of things that were happening to his account, he said that he's still going to remain to be a T-Mobile customer and a loyal T-Mobile customer because T-Mobile works great in Hawaii. That's something that he said. That's a given, right? So, these things happen. But I'm going to bring it from a call center perspective. What happens? Why these things happen? How come they happen? Maybe these things will help you guys pretty much understand the writing on the wall so you guys don't fall for the same thing and get your accounts messed up where you have to go through hours of sitting around waiting and talking to various different people just to get your account fixed. Okay? Because here's the thing, right? When there's grandfathered plans, let me start with that. When there's grandfathered plans, it's very hard to move them back on. Anyone who's a Sprint customer knows this because there's some Sprint customers who have had a grandfathered plan and a rep changed their plan without even disclosing with them they were changing the plan because of the promotional sale or whatever that the customer called in about. And they would do that change, they would make that change, and on the system to change it back to that plan's SKU code is not in the system anymore for us to initially do it. It would have to be escalated up to a higher department. Even though the department I worked in, which was account services, also known as retention, also known as the cancellation department, and we had a lot more control and what we could do with customers' accounts as far as plan changes and things like that. We had more than what customer care had access to, but even then we didn't have access to grandfather plans to just immediately move them back on. And it was a pain. It was a pain to do that because from call center, retention department, cancellation department, account services department, from our perspective, having to fix a customer's plan, we would have to escalate it to get the grandfather plan placed back on the account. Obviously, because of the plan changes, the billing system is going to automatically do proration. So we had to already uh, quickly determine what the proration amounts would be, how the customer's bill would end up looking, and then have to already preset in notations that X amount of dollars in credits needs to be applied because the plan was changed without customer's approval and they're going to experience proration. And then we would also have to disclose to the customer, like, hey, look, we're going to get you back on that grandfather plan. However, when your next bill comes in, don't freak out because it's going to have a bunch of proration. But I've already notated that we're going to be crediting this much, and this much to take care of all those additional charges that shouldn't have been there because of the price plan change. You gotta disclose a lot with customers, and so that way they hear it. You also want to give them what we call on the Sprint side, because AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they use different systems to handle customers' accounts, but what we had was interaction IDs, and we would give that to the customer to assure them that these were notated. We would give them the interaction ID, which links to the notations we placed on their account. Also, it links to the agent that they spoke with, so they know who if anyone pulled up the account and looked at the interaction ID, they know who they spoke with. They can contact that agent's team lead and let them know if something wasn't done right. Um, they'll do that because I was an agent on the phone. I took calls for a while, and then I got promoted up to being what they call floor support, which is the person who takes the supervisor calls. So if you guys didn't know that, and that's on Sprint side. I'm not saying that's what goes on in T-Mobile, but T-Mobile can have a very similar structure that way. But the thing that Lawrence went through, that's something that I would say is like a very common thing that happens with any carrier. Because these call centers, these online support agents or whatever, they have a quota. They more than likely have a bonus structure too, depending on how they handle a customer's account, how quickly they're able to resolve that with just a one-time resolve, where the customer doesn't have to call in. Obviously, avoiding cancellation. Those types of things can lead to bonuses, and bonuses could be in the form of, like, whatever the company wants to give, whether it could be additional money on your paycheck, or it could be you know like extra time off or something like that, like, oh, you've earned yourself a free day off work, or blah blah blah, or you get first pick on shift bids when they change up the shifts. um, those types of things happen, and some of these incentives are so nuts that they will drive an agent to sometimes do some pretty underhanded things. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen agents do it where I would literally, like, after fixing the issue with the customer on the phone call, I'd ask the team lead to put them in coaching mode so that way they're not getting any calls from the queue, and then literally sit there and tell them, like, you can't be doing that. You can't mess with a customer's account that way without disclosing all the things that's going to happen from this promotional change you're about to offer them if they accept. Like, these things happen. So when Sneed and when Lawrence and when Carlos, then when they're reporting it, they're not reporting it to fabricate something so that way they can totally attack T-Mobile, because T-Mobile's not the only company that does it. And again, Lawrence said in the live stream that he will remain to be a loyal T-Mobile customer. It's just that he wanted to share that experience for other customers to know that this can happen to you. And what's wrong with them wanting to share that information? Like, that's viable information that people should be aware of, that could end up happening, because you could end up losing a grandfather plan that T-Mobile no longer has any way of putting back on. I mean, like, the entire plan SKU has been removed from ever being placed on an account again. And you know, you could lose that plan just because an agent decided to take a chance and pitch a promotion, tell you how great the promotion is, add the line to your account, you'll get this credit, that credit, that credit, but then they don't tell you that they move you to the magenta plan. You just being moved. You're being moved to take advantage of that promotional deal. Where, like, if in Lawrence's case, he had like 8 lines, and with all the credits and the promotional things that he's being given for having all those 8 lines, his bill comes out to being like $120 or $130 around there, roughly, give or take a few. And that's pretty insane to have that many lines and only pay that much a month. But again, messing with his account, and like he said, his bill jacked up to like $300 and something dollars. That's pretty high. And then when trying to fix it, they told him, like, oh yeah, well, when T-Mobile, for a consumer account, you max out on the lines you have at 8 lines, and so that should have been disclosed to him before he even accepted the promotional deal to add a line, but it wasn't. And as I'm saying, like, these things happen. These things happen. There are agents that are just brand new to the floor and forget to disclose things the way that they should properly. There are those that are just trained poorly. There are those that want that bonus and will get it at all costs. These are the different types of agents that you will deal with, whether it be on a phone call, through chat, through social media access. These are the type of agents you're going to deal with. So when doing these things, you really want to ask a lot of questions. You want to say a few things. Like, if it's a promotional thing, you want to ask, is this going to change my price plan? Does it have to change my price plan? What is my bill going to look like next? Give me an estimate. Like, you want to ask these things, you want to screenshot. If it's chat, you want to screenshot or save a copy of the chat if the chat actually allows you to save a copy and send it to your email, so you have a copy of the entire interaction. If it's a phone call, you want to ask for some sort of interaction ID or some sort of ID that basically references this conversation with the agent you're speaking to. You want to do all these things. You want to grab. Don't just be like, okay, yeah, let's do it, thanks so much, and hang up, right? Like, don't grab all the information you can that references to the day of change, so you have access. So when you go to rectify the problem, you have all this information to give to the next agent, to a supervisor, or whoever you're speaking to, who can then look at it. Even doing a call pull, because call centers, we can pull calls. Okay, they say that it's up to 90 days because that's as far back as that department will go with. This was with Sprint. I don't know if it carried on over to T-Mobile, But yeah, the calls are saved to a server. We can pull the call, listen to what the agent said, listen to what the customer said, and determine who was in the right. And if the customer's in the right, then provide credits and incentives for the trouble. That's all I'm saying to that is that these things happen. And it's, nothing to flag a content creator or several people for speaking their mind and sharing their experiences. You should actually be listening closely to the experience so that way you don't fall for the same thing and you don't have to go through the headaches. But that's it, man. That's me sharing the perspective of what happens in call centers and what I've seen with my own experiences when it comes to things like this. And I just want to say, shout out to Lawrence for sharing that story. Shout out to Sneed, Technoid, and Carlos for hosting it on the live stream. That was pretty awesome, pretty dope stream. I'll link the live stream in the description of my video so you guys can go click on it and watch it, watch the replay. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions regarding call center things that goes on, or if you guys want me to make another video that pretty much outlines all the things that goes on in the call center that I know of, let me know in the comment section of the video. Smash that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. If you just subscribe to my channel, thanks for doing that. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I do upload another video. You'll never miss it. And yeah, that is it for right now, guys. Happy Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. As always, aloha.